Hello, Castle fans. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm your host, JJ Snyder. Tune in as we talk about Season 8, Episode 18, Backstabbers, with special guest in the studio, Toks Olagundoye. We'll be right back.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are so excited that you're all joining us from across the globe to talk about this episode. And look who's next to me. Not only do we have the fabulous Haley Toks Olagundoye, but Alexis Torres is joining us back in the studio.
I missed all my castle lights. I missed you so much. I'm so happy to be back, and also next to the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life.
She's lying, but thank you.
No, that's not true. Just kidding. No, you are the most beautiful person I've ever sat next to. So.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
That says a lot, because she's sat by a lot of people.
Wow.
Jeez.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You do look especially beautiful today.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I had a lot of help.
Oh, well. And I like your hair wavy, curly.
Yeah.
I
thank
really
you.
do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a wig that I'm wearing on the show. Well, it's
Oh, really?
It's a wig from like here
Here
back,
back.
and then in the front it's straight. They straighten it.
Yes.
But yeah.
Oh, that's right. So you had something up, I believe, on Twitter of them putting in the side hair
I took
bits.
over Yahoo TV's Instagram feed, so I did like a whole thing to show, because a lot of people don't know how we end up looking the way that we do.
I don't.
So,
I'm
I
obsessed.
Yeah, but it's like kind of a fun. I mean, there are certain people in this business. Actually, there are a lot of people in this business who don't want people to know the magic. But I think that part of it is really cool. I come from theatre though, so it's all smoke and mirrors, and I don't care who knows. I'm not a magician, for God's sake. So it's like, but yeah, I think it's cool to let people.
I think she's
But this is what I really look like.
And you look fabulous.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. Well, not only does she look fabulous, but she is a fabulous guest to have, because the last time, Alexis, you weren't here, but she showed up
I
with a
know.
huge plate of cookies.
I know.
And this time we get Italian nougat,
Yes.
you guys. And the Italian fans out there understand how delicious it's Ferrara nougat.
I'm gonna eat all of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat half of it,
No,
so
I'm
I'll half
gonna
it
eat
with
all
you.
of it.
Yeah, yes. That's going in my bag right now. Okay, well, this is so much fun, and it's so great to have Alexis back, because
it's been a while.
Alexis has watched the show from the beginning.
Season 1, episode
Yeah.
1.
Nice.
Yes.
Diehard fan, this one.
But for you, this was a big episode.
It was a huge episode, yeah.
Yes.
And it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And initially when I was, I was told by the showrunners, the network's thinking of like a Haley-centric episode. And you hear that, it's, the business. People like to talk, and it's kind of sometimes their way of just being like, good job, you're doing well. And I was like, cool, it's just nice to know people think I'm doing a good job. So when it finally actually happened, I couldn't believe it. I really, couldn't believe my luck. And Robert Bella wrote it, and Jessica Yu directed, and you shouldn't play favorites, but I do really love working with both of them so much. And they brought in my old stunt woman from my last show, even though she didn't get to do anything. Thank you, Bethany, for hanging out with us. And I just had like such a great time. It was amazing. Yeah.
And we're in mid-April now, so when did you shoot this?
God, when did we shoot this? I don't remember. Beginning of March, maybe?
Yeah, it couldn't have been too long ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
or end of February, maybe, because I think it was right before my mother visited. Hi, Mum.
But no, I'm really glad, because I've been actually wanting a more Haley story-heavy episode. And so when I saw that, I was like, yes, this is all I wanted. Thank you, Castle writers. So
I was very generous of them. And Stana and Nathan got to go on vacation.
For real?
Yeah, so they were both like, thank you. I was like, yeah, sure, anytime. Seriously, anytime.
Do you know?
Seriously.
Do you know where they went?
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to share that. Because they might
keep
not
the
want
mystery.
people to know.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true.
I don't know what they want people to know or not.
Yeah, you don't. No.
It's not
Yeah.
my place. I should
Yes.
probably not even have said they want.
No, I mean,
No, that's
I like
okay.
the mystery. They went off and, took a holiday.
They might have taken. Inevitably, Nathan posted photos if he went somewhere of his vacation.
Probably.
He
Probably.
does. So
he
you
does.
know,
He
yes.
takes photos of all of his life.
Yes.
So.
Well, we're about to jump into the episode, but before we do, it's a perfect time to take a question from Twitter because we had a ton of questions come in for you. And so we have a fan who, well, first of all, Samantha Salinas just wants to say, I don't have any questions. I want to just congratulate her on a fabulous episode.
Thank you.
So that was
Very
nice
kind.
of her.
Thank you.
Yes. And then speaking of fight scenes, we had a question come in, and a fan wants to know if you did your own stunts in that final scene. Was that all you?
That was all me. The hanging was mostly me, but I was hanging there for I think almost an hour.
Wow.
Because you're doing the scene, so you got to do the scene over and over and over again. And they'd lower me down when they were like changing camera angles and stuff. But I had to go back and get changed into like makeup where I looked, like not messed up, because we were doing the fight after that. So I disappeared for a little while they were doing Aaron's coverage, and that was my stunt double, Bethany, hanging there.
Yes.
So if you see her at all on his coverage, that's her. But yeah, everything else was me. And the last fight, actually, when we did his coverage, it was all the two of us. And then at the very end of the night, on a very, 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 very long day, I think it was a 12-hour day, at the end of the week, Friday night, we did my coverage of the fight. And it was, we had, I think, 7 minutes to get it.
What?
Yeah. And the funny thing was initially they didn't want me to do it.
Right.
Initially on his coverage, which was earlier in the night, I walked away. They were like, you're not going to do it. And I was like, but I know it. I've been practicing it. And they were like, no, because neither Jessica nor Robert had seen me do the stunts on any of the other things.
Okay.
And so I walked away, and my stand-in, Irie, actually, who was my stand-in on The Neighbours and knows me very well, was like, you're going to let them... And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, Bethany knows it. She was like, yeah, but so do you. And I was like, yeah, but, I was too tired to, she's like, go back and tell them you want to do it. And I was like, okay. So I went back and I was like, guys, listen, blah, blah, can we just, let me do it once for you, because it's better for editing anyway if it's me. And they were like, that's true. Okay. And they, humored me. And after the first take, Jessica just kind of, poked her head around the corner and was like, that was amazing. Keep going. And I was like, all right. So when it came to my coverage of it, they actually popped in Aaron's stunt double, and we just kept the cameras rolling, and we went for, I think we got it. I think the AD was like, we've got 7 minutes to get it. And I think we did it in 5. So we just kept the cameras going, and I think we ran the fight 8 different times. It's not a very long fight. And then that headbang we had done much earlier.
My
night.
skin shook.
Yeah, that was all me though. Aaron did nothing but hold on, and it was all me doing this, and then it was the camera angle.
Yeah, that hair going back.
Yeah.
Did they add a sound effect too?
Oh yeah. I didn't come anywhere close to hitting it. I was like, well, a couple of times apparently I did come close to it because I couldn't really see it.
Yes.
Because he turns me. Well, you don't see the whole thing. Actually, what he does is knock me to the ground, and then he picks me up, turns me around, and knocks me out. So I came close a few times apparently, but I never hit it.
Well, good for you.
I hit my head a lot in my personal life.
Oh, yes, as do I. I hear you on that. Oh my gosh.
I trip all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, that was fun.
No,
thanks.
long story long.
No,
Sorry.
it's all right. We started at the end, but that was a great place to start. Why not?
Especially as a martial artist, I like to watch how stuff is choreographed, and I loved every minute of that. And I was sitting there going, oh, her head, it's done. There's gonna be a dent. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful.
And they didn't want to. The stunt coordinator did not want to do that head thing.
Really? I thought
he did not want to do it, and I was like, I think he's got to take her head and smack. And he was like, no, I think that's a bit much. And I was like, but he's angry. He's really angry. And he was like, but it's a man and a woman. I was like, they were partners. Yeah. He's lovely. He's very sweet. And
of course.
And there were a couple of the crew guys sitting there watching us, and he was like, what do you guys think? And they were like, we think he's really pissed off, and he would take her head and bash it into something.
Oh my gosh.
I completely agree. That's what I thought was just the cherry on top of the crazy icing, I think.
And Jessica loved it, so yay.
Yeah.
Now, while we're in that scene, we should talk about the actor who played Wes Connor, your former partner. So that was an interesting kind of. We got to take a trip into your past in a way we haven't really before. But tell us about him.
The character?
Sure, or the actor himself. I mean, was his thick accent his own?
That is his own accent.
Okay.
He actually lives in Manchester with his wife and kids, and he was out here auditioning and, for pilot season, and he's brilliant, and we managed to snag him for this episode, which was like, I couldn't, it couldn't have been better. Lovely guy. We had a lot of fun, especially working on the fight together, and yeah, he's a great guy. And then, yeah, the character, she thought he was dead, and she thought that he was dead partially, like not because of her, but because of her.
It was kind of ironic then that you ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough for her. That was a rough scene to film.
The old pop.
Actually.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing that really stood out to me during this episode was just how much Castle backed you up. Did you feel that too? Kind of touched by that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's because of the relationship, especially with how the season's going. I feel like that was just. I feel like both him and Alexis would be able to stick by you the entire time.
Yeah, it's a really nice relationship that they've allowed to form. And I think that the writers and the producers, the showrunners are really smart because they pay attention to the energies and dynamics that we all have anyway. Right. And the three of us do have a really good time working with each other anyway. We are always having fun when we're together. We're like ad-libbing and giggling and like, we're like three little kids. So, it's, and the two of them, I mean everyone, but the two of them specifically, I'm closer to Nathan and Molly. They're like the two in the cast who I feel comfortable picking up the phone and calling. And they've been really kind to me and very inclusive. And so I think that energy exists with us naturally. Yeah.
That's nice. Now, the last time you were on the show, you had been live tweeting at Nathan's house the night before.
Yes.
What happened yesterday? During this episode, were you live tweeting? Or?
I was live tweeting. Nathan was on vacation. Is on vacation.
Where? No, just kidding.
Seamus had traveled yesterday morning. John is on vacation. Molly is doing the Night Vale tour. And Tamla tweeted. And I think Stana's on vacation too. I don't know. But as we all know, yesterday was a little bit emotional for everyone too. So it was like, but yeah, so
I would say highly emotional for Castle fans yesterday. Yes.
Well, to be fair, for all of us, I don't think that the fans really understand that we're human beings who have relationships with each other, and we all found out the same way everyone did.
Truly.
Yeah, and I was
absolutely 100%, and really? I know nothing more than that. I know nothing more than that.
Yeah, I mean that's
because that is actually for all intents and purposes, it's a rumor. We don't know,
really? It hasn't been confirmed because
yet.
I don't know. Like I don't know, and I've not spoken to the two of them. I assume that on some level it's true. I don't know about a season 9. I don't know if I have a job. I don't know.
Okay.
So it's like there's a lot of assumptions being made, and it's difficult for all of us.
Clear up for everybody. If you guys are tuning in, you probably know what we're talking about, but it's Tuesday afternoon right now. Yesterday, Monday, a Deadline article came out that said that Stana Katic and Tamala will not be returning to the show for season 9. That ABC specifically did not renew Stana's contract. So that's what we're talking about in case you didn't know.
Yeah. And I don't know, again, that could be true. It could 100% absolutely be true. I don't know. Like I've not spoken to her. No one from the show or the network has spoken to me about that specifically. They called to make sure I was okay because I was kind of pounced on Twitter. But I don't know. And as far as I know, no one else knows what's happening specifically with the show. We don't know if we have a new season. So there's a lot of rumors, and it's very emotional for us too, because you have to understand these are our jobs that we love. And to not know whether or not you have a job, it's rough, especially for those of us who were lucky enough to get on a show like this at all. And I haven't been on 8 seasons of an amazing show. If I lose my job, I might be working in a restaurant, in a month. So it's like, I don't, so I think that people take the rumors, they run with them, and they don't really remember that we are human. We maybe are just as surprised as they are. And, we have feelings for one another. And if anybody is going through that right now, which again, I don't know, I can't even imagine as an actor, so I don't.
Okay, that's very interesting to get your take. Alexis, being a super fan, tell us what your take is on this whole
I knew that was going to come up because I had a lot of fans last night tweeting me all night going, Alexis, what do you think? You've been watching like us.
What
and I'm
do
like,
you think?
Whoa, guys, let's take a breather, okay? 1, I am sad, but I don't know if this is true or not, so I'm not going to sit there and completely cry into my pizza rolls just yet. I just think that
Pizza rolls.
I felt right. I was actually more sad for the cast because you guys have already, you know, right? I felt bad because obviously that means we don't really know what's going to happen with the show, if it will continue, whatever. It doesn't matter. Even if Stana decided to leave, I would still watch the show. I would put in my time and effort to still watch. That's my thing, and I just felt bad because you guys are in weird, mysterious waters right now.
And also, and I think it's also, you know, sometimes things are said that, like, assumptions are made, or maybe people say that people at networks say things that I don't know if they actually said. Because, again, let me just preface it with, I really do not know what is going on, but sometimes the decision is not just the network. Right. Sometimes there are talks between people. Sometimes, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know how the show ends this season because I wasn't in that bit of it, and I don't ever ask any questions. No, like, I'm not that actor. Like, I go in, I do what I'm given, and I leave.
Yes, yes.
You a safe way to do it.
remember
I like
that very clearly when you were on before, Toks. You were really clear on, like, humility. And I show up and I have a really good attitude, and that's the kind of actor I am because that's the kind of actors who work. And
I think people should be at that level too, because I always feel that. Again, another show that I do for the 100, there's a lot of controversy going on with that too, and a lot of fans are like, "Oh, cancel the show," and I'm like, "Whoa, it's not even. You have to think about the crew and everybody."
There are hundreds of people who love and work on this show, and for someone to tell you that they hope you lose your job
is just hurts.
I mean, no one wants to lose their job anyway, but when it's something that you have worked on for literally decades and you finally feel like you've gotten somewhere with something and you enjoy it, for someone to say that to you and blame you for something that you've not done, that you are sad about if it's really true and you don't even know if it is, so you're also confused, is like, on a day, by the way, where you were like happy about something that was happening for you, and I
bet it was funny for you because you had this big episode and then that news break at the same time. I was thinking that on the car ride here. I'm like, that must have been really bizarre for her.
It was horrifying, if I'm being honest, because I wanted to celebrate, but at the same time, I was like, ugh.
Probably having to fend off all these questions. Well, I think I'm going to take a little stress off by unwrapping these nougat. We're going to get nougat. And this is kind of to all the fans out there, you know, Toks and I were talking just before the episode, and I think it's interesting, you guys, because and there's different flavors. You get vanilla, dear.
I'm
nougat free. Okay. Oh, good for you.
Well, it's good for me, but
it's hard.
It's sad.
That's smart though.
I will save it for after the show
her
for
sugar.
Sure.
She's such a good girl. Toks is reducing her sugar, but she does have tattoos, is what I heard.
I've got a lot of tattoos.
Which leads me, we're certainly not breaking down the episode, but that's okay because we're girls and we have a lot to talk about.
Tangent.
But one of the questions from our beloved fans is, what tattoos do you have? Or tell us about one of them at least, please.
Oh boy. I've got one on my ankle that's sort of a tribal, but it was like redesigned for me. That was my first one. I've got my zodiac on my shoulder, which I'm not crazy about. Some of the fans know that. I'm a Virgo.
Okay.
But I'm covering it up at some point. But it was a dare, kind of, and I was in college, and that's what you do when you're in college. You get a tattoo as a dare so that you can win the free tattoo from doing the dare that you don't even want.
Oh, that's wow. Was there alcohol involved in that?
Probably.
Yeah.
And then like alcohol and an ex-boyfriend. Like, it's a bad combo.
They go together, yeah.
Yeah, and I have a tramp stamp, which I got before there were tramp stamps. Like in 1994, I got it, that my mother designed.
Your mom designed your tramp stamp?
She was like, wouldn't this look so pretty? Wouldn't it kind of look like the back of a thong? And I'm like, yeah.
Best mom ever.
Well, that makes it sound like complete trash, but it was really beautiful at the time. She was thinking about like lingerie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my mother's a designer.
Wow.
That's how she thinks.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
On top of that, I have...
By the way, this nougat is really good.
That's why I'm saving it for after.
Nice. I have like sort of a chimera, which is used a lot in the coats of arms in Bergen, which is the town that my mother's from. And she has almost the same tattoo. We got them together. And when we got them, she said, and every woman in the family, all of your daughters will have this tattoo. And I was like, okay, Chrissy. And then
your mom's very forward.
She's Norwegian.
That's
Scandinavian.
hilarious.
And then I have a chimera, Viking chimera here as well. And then I have a diamond here that I got when we got married. I think that's it. And I'm getting 4 new ones this year.
Lovely.
Ew, I like it.
Speaking of marriage, what did your husband have to say about your episode yesterday?
He loved it.
Good.
He loved it. He had a little bit of trouble watching me get my head bashed in, but
Yeah, that was rough.
See?
yeah, but he loved it.
Interesting. Yeah. I think some men who are protective of women would have a hard time watching that happen.
Yeah.
They think your mom is awesome, by the way, in the chat.
They tweet with her. She tweets
Yeah.
with them.
Wow, I like it.
She's nuts in the best way.
I like it.
Casket Kit Kat said Toks' mom is awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, Kathy.
Okay, well, to touch on the episode a little bit, it was interesting because we found out kind of like you had spent some time in the MI6. And so this kind of, and we always sort of knew, we had a sense that that's where you came from, but now we figured out a little more of the details. And also, I didn't realize you were so advanced that you could have designed this worm.
Yeah, she's
Tech-wise.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm glad
like,
you did. I read it.
"Hmm."
I was like, oh, great. Yeah, I knew that she was like, hacker level. I didn't know she was like, web designer level. If that's even what it is. I clearly have no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, no, listen, every episode there's something else that Haley can do that I'm like, all right.
Okay, well,
do it.
basically, you shut down the power grid of London, England. So
Which I loved
yeah, I mean
it.
that's
And even though it was a terrible thing,
Well,
I still loved
I
it.
didn't.
well, you didn't mean to.
Haley didn't,
but your
but she
technology
did, yes.
did. I mean, your
Come on, JJ.
She
Get it.
Yeah, she
come on, you kind of
indirectly did.
Yeah.
come on, admit it. She did it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
She
egging
could
on
have.
Alexis.
I know.
Yes, yes. I thought one of the first coolest moments was when you tore open the floor too. When
Best slow motion crazy editing I've ever seen on Castle. It was great.
Yeah, that was another thing. My Norwegian grandfather, who's my step-grandfather, but more like my grandfather, was a real badass. He was in the resistance during World War II. Like, he's like, one of those guys. He taught me to do a lot of really interesting things when I was a kid. And one of the things that he taught me to do that I wasn't supposed to be learning when I was very little was how to chop wood. And so apparently I use my axe in a different way than you're supposed to properly use it. So when we were doing the test run, the guys were like, ah! And I like hacked the floor in like 2 hacks and they were like, oh. Okay. Because I guess you're supposed to drive with force, but the way that I was learned to do it was that you use the weight of the axe.
Yes.
Right?
That's how my dad told me. To use
So
it,
I think maybe it's just maybe it's not the proper way, but it might be the most effective way. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think I only had 2 takes of that, but yeah, it was.
was it coincidental, or did the Castle writers know that you?
They never know what I can do. They just write it and they ask me, and I'm like, yeah. And sometimes I can't, but I do it anyway.
I do that too. Can you do XYZ? Of course.
Sure.
Yes. Alexis, I know you do that. Well, you can do a lot of things too.
Well,
Come on.
yeah, maybe a little bit. It's just a little bit.
You're a tough chick.
I try.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That scene was fun.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna jump to my next favorite scene is when you stuck when Ned came to the precinct, got interviewed, and then you
gave him
grab
a
him on the way out.
swirly.
At that freaking line, Beckett goes, "Castle, you waterboarded the I and then you said it, and I was just like, yes.
I think the line actually even originally was more of a swirly, and I was like, can I please say I did no such thing? Just really like, which I do a lot to the writers. Thank you so much for humoring me. And I want to say actually about the scene in Haley's apartment as well. First of all, thank you guys for building that apartment because they built that from scratch. That was in the warehouse. Yeah.
Wow.
And secondly, Alexis, Molly's stunt double, I flipped her. Is actually what I did.
Yeah.
But you don't see the flip. They didn't actually show the flip. What? But I flipped her, and we worked on it for we worked on filming it for 45 minutes, and then they didn't show it. But she was amazing, and I was terrified that I was going to hurt her, but I didn't. So, yeah. So that was. I wish you guys gotten to see that.
Oh wow,
That was great.
Wow, that's really cool. That was a very threatening scene for Alexis, though, to be down on the floor like that.
No, but she can.
And then they
she
cut
can
to
hold her
commercial,
own.
so it's kind of like
Yeah.
suspenseful.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
Yeah, she can hold her own. Exactly. Okay, the swirly. Oh, that was good, though.
Yeah, and that, oh God, I can't remember his name. Oh, I'm such a space cadet. He's hilarious. The
Ned,
actor.
the guy who played
oh my
Ned.
God, hilarious.
He was.
I've yet to work with anyone who isn't like just a stellar person and so much fun to work with. They get really good people on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And I feel like, because I've been on the set as well, and I feel like because right when you get there, especially people like Nathan come up to you and are like, hey, great for you to be here. Thanks for being here. And so you feel like you can be at your best. You're not paranoid or unwelcum. You're
Which is very
comfortable.
smart,
So
honestly.
it is.
It's very,
Strategic.
very, very smart. Mark Harmon does the same thing on NCIS. It's very smart because you want people to do their best work on your show. So why not make them feel comfortable? I mean, what
Logical.
a concept, you know? And
Yeah.
Nathan's really good at he's, he just makes you feel like your family immediately. He's
I want
such
to
a
meet
cool
him
guy.
so bad.
yeah, Alexis loves
I
Nathan.
love him since
Yeah.
Firefly days.
Well,
I'm okay. I'm a professional. I'm a professional.
it's
I can do
okay.
this.
You've got good taste. It's fine.
Well, I was just looking at, we had your relationship with Bryce to talk about, and this whole concept of Code 44 was throughout the episode too, right?
I don't think I don't know if that's an actual thing, but as soon as they said it, I was like, she's gonna leave town. She's just gonna leave Castle and Alexis. I'm not ready. So I'm really glad that you didn't. So,
Yeah, Code 44, Bryce. Poor Bryce.
Oh, that hurt my soul.
I
knowing
know.
That I didn't like that. I didn't like that. at
No,
all.
that wasn't good at all. I kind of felt like for a moment, like he's not really dead. They're gonna have him just be hurt, right?
He
All
wasn't moving.
the things that happened to Haley during the episode and the way that she ends up like looking bruised and everything, that's how I felt by the end of like Twitter yesterday with everything that happened.
Yeah.
I was like, I know, Haley. I know. Except I didn't actually get like hung from anything and punched in the face.
I don't
You
want that for you.
Could not have anticipated that day yesterday, could have you?
I
Like, that's so interesting.
I just wanted to I'm going to give you a hug after this, but after watching the episode, I was like, I just want Haley to have a big bubble bath and a hug from me and a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
stronger. I don't even know at
Well,
this point.
she got dragged through it, but it also, the episode overall also kind of brought you closer to Castle and Alexis again. Like, it really kind of ingratiated you once again into this community.
Yeah, which is, I think, is nice for Haley. I don't think it's something that she's ever had in her life. I don't think she's ever felt like she belonged anywhere, which is why she's so good at her job. She never really had anything to lose.
And, your trust was really questioned. The guy who came from MI6, Agent Mallory.
That
yes.
actor was phenomenal. I don't know who he is, and I feel like
Alan,
he's been in
he's-
some other stuff. But
Yeah,
I'm just
he's
like,
wonderful.
Yeah, he
he's
was
a
great.
Really, really cool guy. He's a cool guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, we are actually a little tight on time, believe it or not. So I'm
Believe
going
it.
to go to, we have a few things to talk about. A few more questions I'd love to run by you.
Sure.
From Luane Mataya on Twitter, who's Cruise1213. She wants to know what your favorite relaxation is after work.
I'm not good at relaxing, if I'm being honest.
me
So,
either.
like television, probably. That's what I do. I go home and I kind of decompress watching television, and
Which shows are on your DVR?
Some of my favorites are. I love that Banshee is back. That's one of my favorite shows. I am really enjoying The Family, which, by the way, is Laurie Zaks, is originally from like one of the original Castle producer people. I watch so much television and I can't think of. I'm a Housewives person.
Nice.
If it's a
no
Housewives
way.
show, I will watch it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh my
I know
God.
it's disgusting, but I love them.
That is something I did
don't
not
like
know about
any
you.
other kind of reality television, really. I love The Housewives and Vanderpump Rules.
That is so entertaining, I have to say.
So bad.
I love it.
I just need things that I don't have to focus on, but like I look forward to shows like Banshee.
You know what's fabulous? If you like Housewives, have you watched Unreal? It's the scripted show on A&E.
So good.
That is such a good show.
So
Yes.
good.
Have you seen it? I
have
Very,
seen it.
very
It's
good.
very
Everyone
good.
in that is phenomenal.
Yes.
Really phenomenal performances. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to add, love? Because I'm going to change topic about the episode.
I want more Haley. I've always wanted more Haley. I've always been that person who's like a giant sign in the back going, woo! Like, that's me. But it was really nice to get a little closer into Haley's backstory and her character, and then really having her be a part of the team, even though she was part of the team, but now I feel like the chemistry and the fan interaction was just, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So, phenomenal job from you,
Thank
writers,
you.
cast, crew.
Yeah,
everybody.
and just to address the small percentage of people who give you a hard time, like say on social media, I think it's interesting because I don't think your character's ever been pitted as a romantic interest of Castle's. And I think that's what people are so afraid of. And it's like I was even explaining to somebody that you were coming to the show, I'm like, she plays Castle's friend on the show. She's a really, tough chick.
You're part of the team, you're part of the
that's what's
family.
interesting to me.
That's interesting. And then now this whole idea that I'm like replacing whoever. The reason that upsets me is because the people who are currently on the show have made the show what it is, and they are completely 100% unique people who are phenomenally talented. And the fact that anyone thinks that anybody could ever replace any of them, it couldn't happen. It couldn't happen. Like, things morph into different things sometimes. I'm happy to have a job. I don't know what I'm going to end up being if it continues. I really don't know. But I think everyone needs to understand that everyone who's on the show is well loved by everyone on the show, not just the fans, and appreciated. And the show still exists because of, yes, the fans, but also because of the spectacular performances and people that we have on the show.
I agree.
So, be a little more respectful.
I would say to all the fans who are a little angry right now, I would say take a cue from Nathan Fillion and our friend Toks here, and chill out and be nice and hug each other.
I was going to
okay?
say what Haley said at the end of the video, but I was
What?
episode, and I was like, I'm not going to say that because that's not fair to fans. Oh, what she said to the MI6.
Yeah.
What was the line?
Piss off, mate.
Yeah.
Piss off, mate.
But
but don't piss off. I don't want anyone to piss off.
exactly.
I really don't, because one thing that I do love is how passionate the fans are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that they're passionate, and they're only upset because they love the show
Because
so
they love
much.
the show.
And we wouldn't have a show if not for them. So
Yes.
I don't want anyone to piss off, and I don't want to be blocking people on Twitter either. But if you're going to be nasty, I'm not going to respond. I'm just going to block you. But I just encourage you to be compassionate to everybody involved so that we can all still enjoy it and understand that there is still a season that everyone involved worked on. So respect the rest of the season and watch it for those people, because we all worked really hard on it.
Exactly. And I didn't mean like
Preach,
completely
girl.
like, go whatever.
No, I know you're
yeah,
kidding.
exactly.
You're kidding.
But like, I as a person who loves the show to literally to here and back again, I think that whatever happens, I think it'll be not what's good for the show, but what's good for you guys, because you guys have put so much time, effort, blood, sweat, tears, all those things.
Right.
And it should continue. And you definitely have a supporter on this side.
Thank you.
sure.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
And I do also just want to interject, one thing.
Yeah.
Most of the fans yesterday were amazing to me.
Yes.
Amazing
Yes.
and supportive and really lovely. So thank you guys for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now a bunch of people in the message boards have typed, piss off, mate.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
That
It's my
But-
favorite line.
We're going to wrap this up because we have a very exciting announcement. When Toks was here last time, we had the Toks Cookie Contest. And we had an amazing experience on Twitter, didn't we?
We did.
Interacting with fans worldwide.
I know.
We had the
I
photo.
saw all the craziness.
Yes.
It was
What
great.
number do you think you retweeted? What number do you think you were? You were probably in the
Man.
first 100, weren't you?
I was probably in the first
Yeah.
100. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was like, I think it was like 33 or something like that.
it's a good
That was
number.
mine. Yeah, just for funsies.
Okay, well, it's kind of actually interesting you brought these nougats from Italy, because actually the winner of the contest ended up being an Italian Castle fan. Her name is Serena Pellizzari.
Yay!
Oh, yay, Serena! You were 550. Thank you so much, you guys, and thank you to everybody, you guys. It was really close. There were a bunch of people, I think, waited till the end, and then there was like 15 tweets all at the same time.
And I'm really pleased it's Serena, because she's been a lovely, lovely fan, and
my
she
gosh,
sent
she's
me
beautiful.
a
Really?
gift. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
What'd she
Right?
send you?
Is it the right?
Yes.
Is it the same Serena?
Yeah, I believe so.
She's a huge Castle
So,
fan.
yeah, and
huge.
she.
It says it in her profile.
Yeah, she sent me like
yes,
two
it
little
does.
like know me things that I actually have sitting on my mantle.
So you have, you told me you have a lot of interaction with fans.
I
That's
do. I love the
amazing.
fans.
Yeah.
I loved my fans before on The Neighbours. I love anybody who enables me to do what I do. I know that it's a blessing, and you know, I'm very grateful for them, and I want to make things fun for them and show them that I appreciate them. So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of fun, it's going to get more fun because if you're bummed out that Serena won and you didn't win, we decided we have to do another contest because Toks is here with us again. Toks, tell us what the next contest is going to be.
Okay, so if you remember that contraption that Bree, who by the way is amazing as well, wore yesterday on the show.
Oh yeah, beautiful girl.
She's amazing. She's
She looked great in that corset too.
she looks great in anything.
Oh,
That's just who she is.
Well,
we would like you to design a corset. So we will decide, mostly these ladies, which corset is the one that we would want to wear, I guess.
yes, I'll take it.
Yes.
I'm a big
so
fan.
we're suggesting that you draw it out and you take a photo of it and tweet it.
Yeah.
And shall we have a hashtag?
Oh boy. Sure.
Last time it was the Toks Cookie Contest.
Okay.
So should it be the Toks Corset Contest?
sure, let's do it.
I mean, it
That's
has a lot.
alphabet. That sounds like alphabet soup. That's
It's
happening
very
with
like,
hashtags,
yeah,
but I like
that's
it.
good sound. Toks
Yeah.
Corset Contest.
I like it.
And yes, please, we're going to start that on Twitter right after this, and we are going to keep the contest open for just 1 week, you guys. It won't go on quite as long as the last time, so we will announce the winner on the next show, and we so appreciate you coming back.
Yeah. Oh, and
Yeah.
I just want to say, Serena, whatever book you want is yours.
Ooh.
And this is the same for the other people. I will post today what I have. I have most of the books and a lot of the graphic novels, so whichever one of those
Awesome.
you guys want.
Yes.
And as you can see, we're sending this one to Italy, so we'll send it anywhere.
Yeah.
And I do owe a lot of fans books right now. I've been busy, but I've got time off, so I'll be going to the post office as soon as we know who won this so that everyone can get this stuff.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I like it.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Alexis, where can they find you?
You can follow me all over social media where all Alexis Torreses are sold at atorres890. Also follow my YouTube channel. It's at youtube.com/atorres890 where I have this awesome vlog called The Hump Day Lunch Hour where I sit on my lunch hour in my car and talk about things on Wednesdays, which is Hump Day.
Beautiful. And Toks, you are interacting with so many fans, but tell them again about your social media.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so on Twitter, I'm Toks Olagundoye, which is TOKSOLAGUNDOYE. I'm the same on Snapchat. I am the same on Facebook, but I'm almost never on there. I'm really sorry. I need to get better at that. I will get better at it. And on Instagram, my name is Tolyk, TOLYKAY, because I never ever thought that anybody would ever want to follow me on Instagram, and I've had it for a while, and I used to sell Mary Kay in college.
Totally K. I love it. And I'm J2 Snyder on Instagram and Twitter. Love interacting with you guys on Twitter. There's so many Castle fans around the world. We will see you next week for Season 8, Episode 19. Take care, guys. Woo! Okay.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.